Hey, so apparently, I actually had my first baby in our third year of marriage. And before then, I'm gonna be, talking to us about some of the experiences I had. First of all, after our marriage, we decided that we were not ready to start having babies immediately. So we weren't even paying attention, we were not bothered about anything. We wanted to, have fun, get to know each other better, and enjoy ourselves as newly married couple. At least after about 1 year or 2 years, then we can start talking about making babies. So we carried on that way until on our first year anniversary. I just mentioned it to my mother that today we're 1 year today, and she was like, "Oh, really? You're 1 year already? And what are you guys waiting for? Is it that you're not interested in having babies now, or that you've been trying and there is nothing, coming out of it?" And I was like, "Ooh, just 1 year." And this kind of talk is coming up already. So I told her that we're not, ready to start making babies immediately. And she was like, "Why?" I just, bluffed that off. And then I came out, I think within that same week or so, I met someone, the lady that did our wedding decoration and cake. So she already had the date in mind. So she was the one that told me congratulations that we're already 1 year. And then she brought up the same talk about babies again. And she said, "Your tummy is not even big yet. What is happening?" And I'm like, "Why is everybody talking about the same thing? It's just 1 year. Like, what's all this?" She said no, but at least so I opened up to her. I told her that we were not even trying. That we just wanted to have some time of our own before we start talking about having babies. She said, if you know you're having issues, you better open up. She said she also experienced some delays after her wedding, and she had to go to a doctor, a gynecologist who treated her, and then she started making babies. So, as human beings that we are, when I got home, I started thinking about all the things they said, and that was when it dawned on me that even as we agreed not to start making babies immediately, we were not really taking, serious precautions to avoid pregnancy, and yet there was no pregnancy. So when I got home, I discussed with hubby. I said, "Look at what people told me, concerning this. We're 1 year already and no baby yet. Don't you think we should become more intentional, about this? Let's just try and see if, well, at least we can start now. Moreover, we're okay." He said, "Okay." So that was when we started trying. We became intentional about it, and then nothing was happening. Woo! So I told him about the doctor, the gynecologist that the other lady told me about. So he said, "Okay, I can go and see the man." I went to see the gynecologist. Okay, prior to that, I know I was having some hormonal issues, irregular periods and all of that. I had a delayed period. I went for a test. They said the pregnancy test came out negative. So I carried on with my life. I said, after all, late periods has always been part of life for me because I've always had irregular periods. So I was not bothered. Then after some time, I started seeing some clotted blood coming out after having some serious cramps. That wasn't like my normal period, it just fell out like that, like in lumps. So I didn't understand that. I had to go back to the lab where I went the first time for pregnancy test. They did a scan and they said that I was actually having a miscarriage. I said, "I don't get, how will I be having a miscarriage when I came here for a test last week and it was confirmed that I was not pregnant. And a week after, you're telling me that I am having a miscarriage. How is that possible? So it became an issue. The MD of the place came out, trying to, make sure that there was no mistake anywhere. At the end of the day, it happened that I was having a miscarriage. So I left them out of annoyance and decided to go to the other gynecologist to be sure that it was actually a miscarriage that was happening. So when I got there, they carried out another scan, and it was confirmed that I was actually having a miscarriage. So they said they were gonna do an evacuation, So, but I had to go back home. Then discussed with my husband. Then he now looked for another gynecologist. Then after the evacuation, I went back home and I was living my normal life. My brothers and my sisters who are watching me right now. So there was this woman in, all these people that do local herbs and all of that, that my late mother-in-law introduced to us then. They are so rest in peace. She actually meant good anyway. She never put any pressure on me. She was such a wonderful mother-in-law. She was good. She just, because her son told her, look at what is happening, she felt okay, there was a problem. See, this woman has been helping other people to solve this kind of issues. Maybe you should give her a try. So we went with her to the woman's place. This woman packaged some kind herbs, plenty of issues. Plenty things that the woman packaged. Both the one that will you put inside the water that I will be using to take my bath, smelling terribly. My dear people, thank God, thank God I did not just kill myself by myself. Come and see that month that I took those things. The period that I had lasted for close to 2 weeks, and needed to see the flow. Oh my goodness. It was like something else. Like I would sit down and everywhere is covered. Like it was uncontrollable. I stopped.